Hello, nerds. Plugged In is back and better than ever. This is your host, Owen Hook of Holland, joined today with Max and Xander. Today we will be discussing Sonic 3, Transformers, the Fallout TV show, and so much more. Roll that intro. Alright, so our first topic to discuss is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie. Filming has recently been wrapped up on the movie. What are your guys' takes on the movie?
It's a movie franchise that definitely exists. Personally, I actually kind of like some of the Sonic movies, but I just kind of feel like they're just kind of there, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not like bad or anything. I enjoy watching them, but I don't really have any fond memories of them. But I will say I am excited to see Shadow in this. The edgelord teen in me is dying to see how this is going to turn out.
And speaking of which, they actually did finally cast somebody as Shadow. You want to know who they casted?
Yes.
The legendary Keanu Reeves.
Oh, great. John Wick is coming to Sonic.
I think that's perfect casting.
Yeah, I could see it. I feel like it's just going to be interesting because it's just hearing Keanu Reeves' voice over Shadow the Hedgehog. It's just kind of I don't know, this could either work really well or it could be another It's a Me, Mario, Chris Pratt situation.
I think Idris Elba as Knuckles is pretty good though.
Oh yeah,
I think he works.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's going to be one of those things where we're just going to have to see how it turns out. What about you?
Well, for me, I actually did see the Sonic movie, the first one, in person about a month before COVID, and my expectations going in were pretty high, but being a 16-year-old, I was blown away. I didn't see the second movie, but I heard it was pretty decent. I should check it out sometime.
It was alright. I will say, it's a Sonic movie sequel. It's I didn't know what I was really expecting out of it, but I would say it's pretty good for what it was trying to accomplish.
I'm a big Tails guy, so I was excited to see him in that.
That is definitely true. Tails did kind of carry that movie a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
So for the third Sonic movie, what do you guys think the plot summary will be about, or additional details to it?
Dr. Egghead is once again trying to get the Chaos Emeralds or something like that. I don't know. It involves him with the Chaos Emeralds and trying to chase Sonic, and maybe he uses a robot Sonic, or he tries to manipulate Shadow into getting them for him for his evil, nefarious plans. Whoa. But I will say, Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman is probably one of the best casting roles I have seen from his for his repertoire, because I feel like Jim Carrey as Eggman is the perfect role for him, especially with how ridiculous Eggman is as a character.
Too right.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You said something about robotic Sonic.
Yeah.
Metal Sonic?
Yeah, Metal Sonic. Yeah, my bad.
That would be awesome to see him in there too.
Oh yeah, dude. If we see Metal Sonic in there, that's gonna be I wasn't the biggest Sonic fan growing up, but seeing stuff like Shadow and Metal Sonic, the edgelord teen in me was I remember all those Linkin Park edits back in the day, dude. The music videos and stuff that are probably copyrighted now, but
It would be nice to see Sonic 3 take some inspiration from both Sonic Adventure 2 and the Shadow the Hedgehog game, which does exist,
oh yeah.
for those of you out there. For one final question, do you think any other characters from the Sonic franchise will appear in the third movie?
I don't know.
I think they'll either play it safe and just do Amy, or they'll either go complete left field and throw in Blaze.
It'd be interesting to see Blaze.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see a number of characters, but if they're sticking to the Sonic 2 lore, then obviously, or Sonic Adventure 2, then obviously they got to throw in Shadow, which they did, but it would be interesting to see a number of other characters from the franchise appear. A lot of people think they'll include Reeves, the one that everyone sims for.
I know Trinity would probably be excited to see that one in the movie.
Of course. But let's move on to our next talking point. And you know what just released a huge bomb on us?
Oh my god.
That wasn't intended to go that way, but okay. And that is the Fallout TV show, which recently released.
The Brotherhood of Steel shall rise again.
More of an Enclave guy.
Enclave?
Yeah. They're pretty cool.
What do the residents of Sanctuary Hills have to say about it?
I thought it was amazing. My expectations were so low because Fallout lately has been like a thorn in my side. But I watched the show with my family and it was phenomenal. It was pretty good.
I still have to watch the show, but I've seen the trailers and it looks amazing. I know video game media, like in terms of live action, gets a pretty bad rep, but I feel like they've kind of been changing that around lately. Obviously, with shows like The Last of Us, they've definitely made a better impact for video game media, especially within the realm of TV shows. So I think Fallout's just another example of that, of what's possible with putting games into live action shows. Not just like haphazardly putting together a story, but crafting something that actually means something, that's faithful to the original game and source material, while also still being able to kind of be its own thing at the same time.
Yeah. Good job, producers.
What?
So, Xander,
Yeah.
you really liked the Fallout TV show, yes?
Yeah.
Were there any details about the plot or even the characters that you really liked?
I really liked Lucy. She's the Vault Dweller. She got that naive, know-it-all vibe the Vault Dwellers all have, like down perfectly without it being too annoying. And Max, he's one of the Brotherhood of Steel members. They painted the Brotherhood of Steel in like the light where they're the good guys, but they're not the good guys. So, and Walton Goggins as the Ghoul was so perfect. He was perfect all around. They show him in like the pre-war and stuff. He's awesome.
Do you think it's relative to the source material in the video games and loyal to it?
Oh, 100%. There was only like two things that were like lore-wise people had issues with, but I didn't see a big problem with them.
Yeah. One thing people had a lot of issues with when it comes to Fallout fans is Fallout 76.
Ooh, yeah. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, you can see Max's reaction. It is a stain on Fallout, despite the fact that I haven't really played it. But where would you like to see the TV show go, Xander?
I hope they go towards New Vegas for the next season, since they're already on the West Coast. It'd be cool if they went there.
That would definitely be cool to see, because I feel like New Vegas is one of the better, one of the better games, but probably one of the most familiar games people have when it comes to Fallout, so it would definitely be cool to see that.
No, it's one of the better ones.
It's not the only things lurking around in the vaults, though. You know what else is lurking around in the vaults? The Transformers and their, 15,000th movie, probably being directed by Michael Bay?
Nope. No Bay involvement this time.
Thank goodness.
I don't know, those movies are actually kind of cool, at least the first three.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that they're directed horribly, it's just that they put in explosions like every minute, because Michael Bay loves his explosions.
That's what I love about them, though. But speaking of this new movie, I really love it because it kind of offers an origin story. See, I'm a huge Transformers nerd. I watched the G1 cartoon growing up. I watched Transformers Prime in like middle school, and I've watched so much like Transformers media. I played the War for Cybertron games, read the IDW comics. Like, I just seeing that they're finally putting together an origin story like in like a cinematic context is the most amazing thing ever. Seeing Orion Pax and Megatronus. For those who don't know, Orion Pax becomes Optimus Prime and Megatronus becomes Megatron. But it's just interesting to see that, and I think we're also going to get the Quintessons in this movie, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw the weird tentacle things. I'm like, oh yeah, they're cooking now. They're cooking. Hopefully they don't burn down the kitchen, but
They seem
I'm
to
excited.
be cooking with the cast, too. They've got Chris Hemsworth in this movie.
That was an interesting choice. I did not expect them to pick him for the role. If I'm not mistaken, they picked him for Orion Pax, right?
Yeah.
I gotta know, who is directing this movie?
I don't know off the top of my head, but whoever did it, I think this is gonna be a very successful movie, and if not, I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
You're gonna cry?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Don't worry, this is a safe space. Do you have anything to input, Xander?
I don't really like the animation, personally. I think, like, lately we've been seeing people step out of, like, the bounds of what we should know.
Terrible take.
Terrible take?
I think the animation's pretty great on this movie, if I'm being honest. Like, I know it's not exactly, like, it's still kind of like that 3D style, but it's a nice blend between, like, how we got with Bumblebee with that first intro scene, along with the fact that it's like still like kind of like it's within its own unique style. And it kind of some of it reminds me of like the IDW comics in a way, in terms of like some of like the designs for like Orion Pax and Bumblebee.
So, if this movie is good, which I assume you anticipate it to be, will it be added to the Shrine?
The Shrine.
Yeah, the Transformers Shrine. You read the comics.
Oh, yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Will it be
yeah.
in the Shrine?
Yeah, definitely. It will be added to the Shrine. I mean, I guess I got to build a shrine now. But yeah, no, definitely. I think this is going to be, for me personally, like Transformers media has either been very hit or miss, because like sometimes we get great stuff like Transformers Prime, and then we get stuff like the Michael Bay movies, more in particular Age of Extinction and the other one that shall not be named. But yeah, no, I feel like these last couple of movies have been a much needed redemption arcs for the Transformers franchise, because ever since the last Michael Bay movie kind of flopped, the Transformers have kind of been on the downhill.
I gotta ask this question for Xander. Do we need this?
No.
don't?
But I'm not
Bro.
against it. I'm not saying
Bro,
I don't need it. You need it. I'm not like
You
that
need it
big
too.
in the
You need it too.
Transformers mythos.
He needs to add
to.
it to his shrine, that's for sure. What's in the shrine?
Like I said before, IDW comics, TV shows, movies, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's good to know, but that's not the only movie we found out some new information about. We've also got some information on Spider-Man 4.
Sorry.
That was so loud that In the Zone heard it while they were filming.
They don't film until next week.
That was a figure of speech, bro.
It would want to be like Hollywood headlines, bro.
So, Spider-Man 4!
So, the possible plot of the movie came out, and it was around Peter losing his identity. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Well,
Didn't-
it's this. Oh, you go first.
Didn't he already do that?
Well, I think it's more so that like, you know how like sometimes like in certain continuities, like Batman, for example, like it gets to a point where like Batman kind of forgets to almost be Bruce Wayne at certain times because he's so dedicated to being Batman.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be along those lines, sort of where Peter kind of loses himself because he's so wrapped up in being Spider-Man that he almost forgets that he's Peter Parker, especially like you said, since nobody knows who Peter Parker is now.
Well, nobody knows who Peter Parker is. They know who Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland are.
Well, that's because they're actors, not...
Yeah, no kidding. But do you think this will be a part of the multiverse that is currently occurring?
Yeah, no, definitely, because I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to have as much multiverse involvement as they did with like the last movie, but I think there is definitely going to be some ties. I mean, we know Venom just from the after credits how he's getting transported, or he was in the
MCU.
in the MCU, and then he got transported back, but some of his goop was left over. So I think there's a good possibility that we could see another Venom within the MCU. I mean, maybe a Venom or maybe something completely different. I don't know, some kind of symbiote.
Wasn't Doctor Strange in the last movie?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
Way Home?
Yeah, he was. He was actually one of the key plot points to, you know, because in order to get the magic, and yeah, everybody's seen the movie at this point. I don't really need to explain it.
Yeah, you don't. Xander, what's your take on the matter?
I kind of want Spider-Man to like stick to street level crime right now. You know, get involved with some like kingpin thugs.
Definitely.
Duke it out with Daredevil a bit.
Just get those guys off the streets?
Yeah, why's he got to be in the multiverse every other week?
Because
That's
he's got to
true.
be in the multiverse every other week.
Dude, it's like, I don't know, I've gotten so much multiverse fatigue. It's like I'm just ready to go back to like street level stuff.
Yeah, it's like give us something new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I know the street level stuff isn't exactly new, but it's going to be a lot more refreshing, because if you look at stuff like the Spider-Man games, like on the PlayStation, they're basically all like street level. At least the first game was like mostly street level stuff. And I feel like that was so refreshing to the genre, where it's like, we just need something like that in the movies now.
Xander?
Yeah, I don't want to see him in a different universe every other week.
I think we can all agree that a street level Spider-Man would be the most beneficial for this movie, but knowing Sony, they might not do that.
Yeah.
So, thanks Sony, you're wonderful.
Mostly blame Disney for that.
Yeah.
Disney's the one that kind of put the whole idea of multiverses out there.
Well, they started it. Sony picked it up, so, you know.
I more want to see who's going to be the Spider-Man in the Venom universe.
We'll see about that.
I thought that was Andrew Garfield.
No.
I thought they were. Okay. I thought they were in the same universe, or were going to put it in the same universe.
In addition to our topics today, let's discuss our upcoming movies that we have. So the first one that we have is called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, coming out on April 19th. Awesome title, by the way. To those who came up with it, you rock. No sarcasm. What do you guys think?
Looks like fun.
It looks like a cool movie.
I mean, it has a cool title. What do you expect?
You can't go wrong with comedy and explosions.
Pretty much.
Unless they're Michael Bay explosions.
I don't know. Michael Bay's pretty good. When he wants to be, he can be good.
But then again, he doesn't want to be good sometimes.
I've never been bored watching a Michael Bay film.
I mean, that's fair. It just has to do with the plot summaries. In addition to that, we have Challengers on the 26th.
I'll be seated. Day one.
You look pretty hyped. What's got you most hyped, Xander?
Is that the tennis one? I was just hyping it up.
So you're just hyping it up?
Yeah.
Is that like the movie with like Zendaya and?
Yeah. I really love tennis, so it'll be a fun movie.
Kind of an underrated sport.
Yeah.
And then we have The Fall Guy on May 3rd.
I'm so looking forward to that movie. Day one, seated, just there for Ryan Gosling, to be honest.
So that's your hype movie.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just there for Ryan Gosling.
Same.
Who isn't there for Ryan Gosling? Especially when it comes to the Barbie movie when he was Ken off.
I'm just Ken.
No, you're not. You're Max. Then we have another Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, coming out on the 10th.
Yeah.
When was the last time they released a Planet of the Apes movie?
I don't know.
Like a while ago, I think.
Yeah, probably like sometime in the early 2000s, but I don't know. I don't keep up with that franchise.
I mean, I think the reason why is because, spoiler alert, Caesar passed away in the last movie. And
Poor guy.
It was supposed to be like I watched the last three movies, and they were like an amazing trilogy. And kind of the narrative sort of ended there with Caesar kind of saving the apes. So it's going to be interesting how they go moving forward in the post-human modern ape world, I guess you could say. Because I think they're in the Bronze Age in this movie.
I haven't watched the last two.
Me neither. You're not alone. Don't worry. And the last one is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga on the 24th. Now, I actually have a little bit of a connection to this because my dad is a Mad Max fan, and I've seen him watch the Mad Max movies numerous times. They look pretty darn good, especially with the scenery.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm not the most familiar with the Mad Max franchise, but I'm definitely going to check it out, especially if this movie's pretty good. I might go back and watch some of the other older movies.
I'm looking at Mad Max.
Not that mad.
You're not that mad. I'm messing with you.
You are Max, though.
I'm
he
just
is
Max.
But he's just Max.
I'm just Max.
I really like the post-apocalyptic feel, just overall, so that'll be fun to see in a different take.
It definitely goes hard, I'll say that. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. I am Owen Hook of Holland with Max and Xander. Tune in next week for the next edition of Plugged In. Until then, have a great night, Millersville.